What's going on, y'all? Hey, welcome back to Wealth Warrior Media Channel broadcast. And on this channel, y'all, I'm just here to offer things that I use to have different strategies to build wealth. All right. And like I want to just start off, this by no means is financial advice. This is just for educational entertainment purposes. I'm no financial advisor. These are just strategies that I've learned along the way that I like to share with others. And on top of that, y'all, this is a what would Joe do? Okay, so right today we're going to talk about the M1 Finance app. Okay, and I think this app is so crucial in just building what we are all about. You know, our 7 pillars is eat clean, train dirty, have an abundant mindset. Those first 3 right there is just to solidify your body and yourself, right? By you eating clean, you give your body the nutrients that it needs. When you train dirty, you're working every little bit about you to make sure you're able to move around and take care of things that need to be taken care of. And then the abundant mindset is training your brain, putting in the right things, getting around the right people. So the next big 3 is wealth creator, digital entrepreneur, and luxurious lifestyle. So we want to start off with that wealth creator aspect. And if you haven't watched my previous videos, I want to go over the wealth creator right now, because the wealth creator is primarily the reason why we use the M1 Finance app, because I'm going to show you how to do different things with the app, okay? And then the last one is becoming a spiritual warrior, walking in your alignment, finding your spiritual gifts. And I encourage everybody to start with that. Like, go down and find out what your purpose and your alignment is, okay? So, Wealth Warrior Media, thank y'all for joining. You can share this video out as we grow and get bigger. I hope that I can get more better quality videos, but right now I just want to get this information out as quick as possible onto a video, so that way others can see what I do, because I get asked this question a lot, is what do you do, Joe? And that's why I just want to just share with y'all what I do. But first off, let's start with the wealth creator aspect, because once you understand this concept, then you'll understand why we use the M1 Finance app. Okay, so right here is our financial line. This is where you start at. This is the starting point of your finances, right? So most people are taught that, hey, they'll borrow and then they'll pay it back. They borrow and then they pay it back. They borrow and then they pay it back. And as you can see here, you're still ending up at 0 whenever you borrow. But a lot of people are like, I always want to be debt free, different things like that. But as you can see, you always end up back at 0, which is okay. Being at 0, there's nothing wrong with that. You definitely want to try to get out of debt as soon as possible. But we have another type of people. So these are called the debtors. All right, pay attention to that. The next group of people will save their money and then they'll purchase something. They'll save their money and then they'll purchase something. They'll save their money and then they purchase something. But as you can see, as a saver, you still end up back at 0. And even though you're not owing anybody and you're spending all this time of saving, you still are ending back up at 0. But as a wealth creator, we don't want you to be at 0. We want you to continuously go up. If you haven't read the book, How Money Works, definitely go check out that book. But in the book, we talk about the rule of 72. The rule of 72 is super important, but the basic thing of that is compounding your money. So when we write out the wealth creation, we write it out as a line like this. And as you can see, compounding is exponential, right? It builds on top of each other. So instead of you always coming back to 0, you can see your money is always working for you, so that way you can continuously go up. All right. So with the savers, what they're doing is putting a lump sum of money into a savings account, but they're not earning anything really. So that's why it kind of stays flat like this. And you can see that point, starting point and ending point is about the same. Whenever you go into debt, you'll start to see that you're not really earning anything and you're pretty much like trying to pay it off as soon as possible, or you're doing minimum payments in that aspect, but it's not going anywhere. And once you end back at 0, you end up at 0. Once where you start, that's kind of where you finish. And technically, it just takes a little bit longer. Like this is a little bit more lopsided if I would draw it out. But as a wealth creator, what you do is you still save your money, but as you save and then you borrow and then it comes up, your starting point, your ending point is a little bit higher than where you started at. That is a secret right there. And I hope that y'all get that. That little simple concept is where it makes all the sense. Like when you understand that, like as you're saving, you borrow from a savings kind of vehicle, and then you'll pay it back to yourself, and then you're higher than where you started. That is how you truly compound your wealth. Okay? Where you start and where you finish is the determination of how your wealth is building. Okay, so with the wealth creator account, is you're borrowing from that account to do whatever you need to do, and then you're paying back that account. And then as you're paying back that account, your money is being borrowed out. That means it's still working out there. It's still working for you. You did not withdraw. You borrowed. And as you borrow, your money is still working for you. And as you can see, you end up higher than where you started. So that is a crucial point of where the wealth creators is. And you're not always coming back to zero. You're steadily going up. Okay? So with that being said, let's jump over to the M1 Finance app. And the M1 Finance is a brokerage account where you can buy stocks, right? They always say the easiest way to wealth is to buy stocks. So that's why I like to use the stock market in this fashion, okay? And as you watch more videos on my channel, I'll go over different kind of strategies and try to give you different ways that you can utilize your money to grow it overall. But with the M1 Finance app, you're able to buy stocks. Me personally, these are the stocks that I have. Let me pull this out. And I can write them out for you real quick. So I have Palantir, and this is of June 1st, 2025. So Palantir, Netflix, Costco, Meta, Amazon, Eli Lilly, O'Reilly, Apple, Microsoft, and Goldman Sachs. Okay, it's important. So in M1 Finance, you are able to make different kind of pies, and those pies are considered like a basket of stocks. And then you don't have to purchase the full amount of the stock, you purchase a percentage of the stock. That's what I like about the M1 Finance. If you want to purchase the full stock, you can use apps like E-Trade. That's one of my favorites, and that's where I like to go. You don't have to do it, actually. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational and entertainment purposes. But what I'm just pointing out here is with the M1 Finance, you're able to purchase portions of these stocks, and you can get portions of their growth as they start to go up. Okay. The reason I chose these different stocks is because whenever you're looking at, let's go to the next part. So I have these different stocks in one portfolio, right? And this is the portfolio that is going to be my wealth creator portfolio. So the way that M1 Finance works is after you pass up $2,000, because you have to have at least $2,000 to let them know that you are really in this game, you're ready to start playing. Now you can borrow anything above that $2,000, but it depends on the margin requirements. Margin is basically how much money is available to operate in the market in case it goes down, or in case it goes down, pretty much. As it goes up, you'll start to increase your money. And that's why I like these companies, because it gives me a mix of everything. I got the technology, I got the medical industry, I got the REITs in here, I got the technologies in here, I got the banks in here, all those different little companies. I have it mixed up in this little portfolio right here, okay? And so after I get past the $2,000, now you're able to borrow anything above the $2,000. So say you got $3,000. So now you're able to borrow $1,000 of the $3,000 because you're above the $2,000, right? So if I'm able to borrow $1,000 now, and it's not, that's what you're able to borrow. Now what M1 Finance does at the moment of June 1st of 2025 is they only let you borrow 50% of what you're able to borrow. So if you're able to borrow $1,000, they're only going to let you take out $500. Okay? Now, because you took out $500, you're not taking it out. Let me just correct that. You're borrowing the $500. Now you can use that $500 to basically take care of any kind of debts that you do have. So one big thing that we do as far as a wealth creator aspect is we go over something called a financial statement. And in that financial statement, we're breaking out your liabilities. So everybody always asks me, hey Joe, what's the point of doing a wealth creator account? All right, I always say it's a debt consolidation account. That is how you kind of pay off your debt, and well, you transfer your debt to yourself and you pay back yourself at a lower interest. So with you having the ability to borrow anything above your 2,000, just know that if you have 3,000 in your account, this is Joe, because I'm not giving you advice, I'm just telling you what I do. Say Joe, I put 3,000 in here. I'm able to borrow 1,000, but I'm only literally able to take out 500, whatever. I go to my liabilities now, and you list out your liabilities. So say you got a credit card, a personal loan, an auto loan, a mortgage, and another credit card, right? Now, what's something big I look at on your liability sheet, because this wealth creator account is how you're going to pay off or transfer your debt to yourself. All right. So you say your credit card's interest rate is 22%. That personal loan is 8%. That auto loan is 6%. That mortgage is 4%. And that other credit card is 18%. Okay. Now, this is called the avalanche method when you look at your actual percentages. And this is why I like the avalanche method with your debt consolidation account, because this is going to help you see something. But you can always use the snowball effect, and we'll go over that in just a second. With your percentages that you did from your financial statement that you went and you looked and you verified, with M1 Finance at the time of making this video, their interest rate is 6.5%. Okay, so 6.5 versus all of these other percents. Which one of these makes sense that I should transfer over to myself instead of paying them the higher interest and taking longer to pay it off? First off, that credit card, that personal loan, possibly that auto loan, and then that other credit card. The mortgage is perfectly fine. It's less than what I'm going to be paying as far as like this other account. Okay, so that's important, because you want to pay attention to percentages. And that's why I call this the avalanche method, because you're going to try to knock out one of those as soon as possible. Now let's put some dollar amounts to this, because I know we are very dollar visual kind of individuals. So say the credit card is $5K. The personal loan is $2K. The auto loan is $20K. The mortgage is $300K. And then this other credit card is $7K. All right. So with the snowball method, you're going to take the smallest amount and pay that off first. All right, cool. So what we can say is this personal loan is $2,000. So if we're doing the snowball method, we can look, let's try to get that personal loan done first. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to save up until you can at least take out $2K out this account. So that's going to be, I think it's $8,000. So once you can save up $8,000, which you are playing in the stock market, so as these go up, this is helping you earn that money even faster because your money's working for you, right? So then you're able to allow your technically, wait a second, let's go backwards. Let's say you borrow $2,000 from here. 50% of 2,000 is 4,000. So that means you only have 6,000 in here. So once you reach 6,000, most people be like, man, Joe, I can just go ahead and knock out that personal loan already if I'm already saving up to 6,000. Yes, but now you're being a debtor. And like I said, you're ending back up at zero with nothing being made for you. Where this, like I said, these are very crucial points. Is every time you pay this back, it's higher and higher. So you can be like, I could just pay off the credit card and knock that out, and then I'll be at zero. And I could pay off the half of this personal loan. You could, but remember, you're back at zero. But if you instead you save it up in here, you're still making this money, right? You're still making the money that as these stocks grow in the market, which the market goes up 70% of the time, you are still earning more money than you currently have. You're still working hard all the time to get back to zero. Like you're always working. This is allowing your money to work for you. So you borrow the 2,000, you'll knock that account out, and now you don't have to worry about this one. This one's completed, and now instead of you making minimal payments of, say, this one is $25, this one is $75, this one is $200, this one is $1,500, and then this one is another $75. Now you can pay $25 back to yourself at the same rate you was paying there, but you're paying less interest and you're still earning as you pay it off, right? You borrow from your savings, you borrow from your wealth creator account, pay it off. Those payments that you're still making on that account, you still just pay it off. As soon as this account is paid off, you're gonna have even more money than what you started with. So this is the purpose of M1 Finance, is you want to have more money than what you're paying back into there. And then you want to have more money than what you save personally, right? You save 6,000, you borrow 2,000, the 6,000 is still in there working as if it was the 6,000. You're paying off that credit card, you're lowering your interest rate now. Now you don't have as much to pay off, and then you just rinse and repeat. Then you start looking at your next one. So then you'll take this 25 plus the 75, and this is the snowball effect. And you'll, as soon as you pay this one off, you'll say, okay, now I can start doubling this payment I was making already and add it to this payment, right? To the next payment. And then you just continue to let it go. Now, with the financial statement, the way to make this really simple to do is, I would always like to take whatever percentage income that I make. So you take the percentage income, you take your income, that is 100%, and you're gonna break it out. You're gonna break it out between expenses and then liabilities. And then last is your assets. So how would this go? And you want to automate this, like you don't want to have to think about this. Now that you put the system together, now all you're gonna do is check this monthly. You don't have to check it every day. You check it monthly. That's it, right? But you got to put the system together. So how do we put the system together? You're going to take your income and you're going to do these kind of percentages. So first off, you're going to figure out whatever your income is, 10%. 10% automatically is going to go to your wealth creator account. So that means every time you get paid, 10% of your paycheck should automatically just draft into this account. They have ways that this can happen. It's really simple and really easy. Just fill out your direct deposit and say 10% of my account I want to go here. The next portion, whatever you make, 10%, always come out. Pay yourself first because you work for that money. Pay yourself first. Allow some of that money to be working for you. You went to go collect that money. Now let 10% of that money you made start working for you, because this, in my opinion, and the way I do it, these stocks from past performances are always going up in value. So I'm making money even though I'm not doing nothing. I'm letting the money that I made make more money for me. All right, so 10% of your assets, meaning 10% of your income is going to your assets, your wealth creator account. Next is you're gonna add up all of your liabilities. And I say go to your liabilities after your assets before you even go to your expenses, because your liabilities is what's really holding you back. Because once you can have no liabilities and you're able to be debt free, this right here becomes even more fun. Like you really start to have fun with this, because then I can start showing you some asset accumulation ways. But that's for another video. You're gonna add up all of these. So this is 100, 300, 375, 1500. So you're looking at 1875. You're going to say 1875, whatever my paycheck is, 1875 of my paycheck is going to this one account, your liabilities account. And what's so good about this is you're going to do it by percentages, or you can do it by a whole number, right? If you can, you just got to talk to your job. You can do it by percentages, a whole number. I like percentages because as you start doing asset accumulation, percentages just make it easy. But if whole numbers work for you, do that. You're going to say 1875 is coming to this account. What's so cool about this is you're going to still make those minimal payments, right? Every month. As soon as you get enough money to pay off one of those things, you're going to pay it off. Now, what's so great is you can take that extra payment and start applying it to another payment, right? Actually, no, let's back up. You're going to take that payment, whatever you're paying, you're going to add it back to paying yourself back. Now, so instead of you paying $18.75, you're going to pay $18.50, but you're still paying $18.50 into this account, right? Okay, good. Now you're paying back to your account. You're slowly paying that back. As soon as this account get where it needs to get to, you're going to knock out your next thing, okay? Then you're going to take those two payments and start paying it back to over here. And you're going to start building back up your wealth creator account. And then you can reduce this just a little bit more. And as you get this closer and closer to zero, and you're putting more of this money into your asset accumulation account, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm speeding up this process. I'm going as quickly as possible. All right. And you're building up your wealth creator account. That is why I love M1 Finance, because they allow you to borrow your money, right? There's other strategies and vehicles out there. Life insurance is a big one. You just have to go through a little bit more paperwork and assess your body, which is Eat Clean, Train Dirty, and Abundant Mindset. All of that helps you get better life insurance. Ta-da! Wealth Warrior Media. That's why we're here, to align everything for you. So, recap real quick. You want to understand the wealth creator process, and you're into wherever you start at, you want to end up higher than where you started at. You don't want to continue to follow the line and stay linear. You want to go exponentially, okay? You're going to open up an app and you're going to put certain kind of companies into your basket. One thing you want to look at is, when you're looking at these companies, is the margin requirements. All of these companies right here require a 25% margin. That way you can maximize your full borrowing power. If you put like a company called MSTY, they have a 75% margin requirement, so you're not able to borrow this full 50%. It goes down to 10% because the margin requirement is so high for this one. So that's why I said you want to look at the different companies that ever you like, and you want to try to look for 25% margin requirements. After you start doing that, you want to start sticking money in here. Any extra cash that you get, stick it in here. Any kind of bonuses, any kind of settlements, any kind of extra money you get, birthday money, family money, stick it into your account. Start to borrow from yourself, pay off your liabilities till your liabilities is basically zero. Stick all that extra money into building here, and then we start showing you how to do asset accumulation. Then you start borrowing from here to purchase real estate. You start borrowing from here to purchase a business, let that business cash flow for you. Now you no longer have to work. This is the Wealth Warrior channel, y'all. Appreciate y'all for jumping on. Sorry the video was a little longer. Share this out with somebody. My name is Joe, and these are What Would Joe Do? I'm not giving you no financial advice or anything like that. Sorry to talk so fast, but rewatch this video about 3 or 4 times, and y'all, let's go make moves. I love y'all. I take care. Peace out.